So this afternoon, we're joined by Miss Teresa Cain, candidate for House District 60 down in Darlington and Florence Counties. Ms. Cain, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, yes, ma'am. Well, we want to start off with just getting to know you better. So if you would, tell our members a little bit about how your personal and professional experiences shape your views on the importance of education.
Okay, well, as a young child, my parents were very stickler about education. My dad was like, do not bring home less than a C. So growing up, it was, and as I had raised my own children, education is like the first and foremost important. And I say that because without education, we would not know, what steps to take next or how we're going to be able to do anything. So education is important. So I do value education. And as far as education in today's society, I believe that, our children are our future. And without education, without knowledge and understanding, we'll be lost. And I do appreciate the opportunity of working with children. And I don't know if I mentioned to you before, I work with a program called Lee County First Steps. And it's a program also that helps to facilitate parents and children and helping them to grow closer as a family. So education is just the number one source, because I think without education, we're just lost, period.
Well, and I don't think you'll find any disagreement from our members since they're teachers. And First Steps is an incredible program focused on early childhood.
Yes.
And early childhood over the last 2 years has gotten a lot of focus in the General Assembly as part of this idea of educational reform that Speaker Lucas has pushed for. But the General Assembly hasn't been able to pass a reform package. There's been a House version, a Senate version, but not a unified version. So in your view, whether it's through your lens of working with First Steps or a broader perspective, what do you see as the essential components of reforming our educational system to give kids the opportunities that you're talking about?
I think one of the main things that we need to understand is that just from experience in working with First Steps, our children need the understanding of knowing that their parents have their back as far as education is concerned. I find that a lot of children, one of the beautiful things about First Steps is it helps the family to take time out for our children, just time. And I think one of the problems is that children are lacking in education, are lacking in understanding as far as what learning is all about, because of the fact that there's no time spent at home as far as family values are concerned. Now, when I was a little girl, we sat at the dinner table together as a family, and raising my children. When I got off from work from 9 to 5, the first thing was homework time, spending time together, finding out how they are, because a lot of times we don't realize that children go through so much throughout the day. And I say that because when they're studying and they're frustrated and some may get bullied in school, there are a lot of things our babies go through. And as facilitators and educators, one of the most important things we have to really understand is our children depend upon us. And they look at us more than just a teacher. Some of them look at us as counselors, mentors, friends. And I think that's very imperative that the legislator understand that, this type of a program is essential, because if there's problems in the home with children, granted, there would be problems in school. So First Steps help to alleviate some of those problems.
Well, you mentioned a lot about the challenges that kids face outside of school. And we know that those aren't equitably experienced across the state,
Right.
Especially in our rural or lower income areas. There's even greater challenges that
Yes.
are faced. And the General Assembly is supposed to ensure an adequate education for kids across the state, regardless of zip code.
Right.
But we're not there, and our court system has said the same. So as a member of the General Assembly, what steps would you push for to ensure that our state provides that equitable, excellent education to all kids, regardless of zip code?
Right. Okay. And I'm glad thank you for reiterating that. As a legislator and even working in that department, one thing I find is that children, one good thing about a child is taking acceptance in any place. They don't see the difference in race or color or your status in life. Children accept you for who you are. And I think across the board, as leaders of the community, leaders of the state, we have to realize what is more important for the child. Sometimes you got to take yourself out the way and understand that, you know, we need to do what's best for across the board for all of our children, not just for some of them. Because, you know, just like we spoke earlier about the rural and minority area, you think about some of the children that are going to some of the private schools, for example. Some of them are going to the monastery schools, for example. All of those children, as well as public school children, they deserve the same teaching, the same experiences, the same educational status than anybody else. And I think the government and the legislators need to understand, you know what, it's not about you. It's not about your personal feelings. It is about what is going to be in the best interest for all of our babies. You know, so I think as a whole, we need to get together and just kind of come together and collaborate together for understanding of not saying, oh no, it's, you know, this area needs this because of this, or this area needs. No, we need to come up with some ideas that's going to be best for all our children. And so that's one thing I would oppose is having a conversation with them is like, you know what? I see children, I've substituted in different schools, and I see children of all races and jailings, and all our children, all they need is love. All they want is somebody to just pay attention to them, give them some education. And I think as leaders of the community and pillars of the community, our job is to do what is best in the best interest of our children, period. You know, I'm all about speaking up for kids. I don't mind at all. At all.
Well, you mentioned every kid needing that advocate, that person in their corner.
Yeah.
And for a lot of kids, the teacher is that person.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, and I'm not going to get off the subject. Oh God.
There you go. Yeah, I got you back. I got you back. Nope.
I think it's my battery, isn't it? I hope it's not. But for the children, I think a lot of times for our kids, I'm sorry, our kids, I'm trying to my charger. Our kids, for our babies, having a advocate, for example, now that it's a COVID-19 just going on, having an advocate in their lives is very important right now. And I say that because, you know, look, children get so frustrated. You know, we as teachers get frustrated. So, you know, children get frustrated because of having to sit in front of a TV all day long and having to, in front of, having to sit in front of the computer screen all day long. Sometimes they get frustrated. And as advocates, you know, I like to get on the Google Classroom and talk to them. So, you know what, it's okay. You know, I want you guys to stand up for a minute, take a stretch break, and realize it's all right. You know, it's okay to step away from the computer for a few moments. And even if not that, I'll try to give them a little quirky joke off of something off YouTube that's funny, you know. And then for our older students that are seniors or juniors in high school, I love to send them motivational little snips from YouTube to let them know, you know what, you can do anything you put your mind to. You know, give them some snips on confidence and motivation and strength, and let them know that they are valued. I think that's very important to let our children know that they are valued. You know, they know that. They need that.
Absolutely agree. And teachers can do that.
Yes.
One challenge in our state, though, is that we have a teacher shortage crisis with thousands of teachers leaving and classrooms without a certified teacher. As a member of the General Assembly, what issues would you push for, or what policies would you push for to help our state better recruit and retain teachers?
First will be increasing their pay. That's one of the main things I would do is push that teachers get an increase in pay. And if you think about it, most of our teachers, I would say all of our teachers, we teach because we love our children. That's our first priority, is we love our children. However, you think about it, our children, you know, we have to realize that the stipend that they give teachers, that's not enough. You know, a lot of times we have to go out of our pocket and do little special things for children. Sometimes there's children that are in need of certain things. You know, so I think they should first and foremost consider giving teachers an increase, because they deserve it. We don't work 9 to 5. We work 365 days out of the year. You know what I'm saying? And that's a wonderful experience, just to know that you have a child that they can say, I can pick up the phone and call Ms. Cain and talk to Ms. Cain and vent to Ms. Cain about whatever I need to vent to, you know. But I think that teachers are far less appreciated than what they should be. You know what I mean? I think they should be more appreciated. And I just not just say that with the with the government, the legislators. I say that sometimes with parents too. You know, I think our parents sometimes do not realize and understand that that teachers have their children's best interests at hand. You know what I mean? And that's the main thing I push is for increase for our teachers because they deserve it.
Well, another issue that's likely to come onto your agenda if elected to the General Assembly is school vouchers to private schools, because Governor McMaster has said in the coming session he wants to see the General Assembly establish a permanent program that would provide scholarships or voucher money from public funds to families to send their children to private schools. So if elected, and if that proposal or request comes to you from the governor, what would your position be on that topic?
I would just turn it down. And I mean, I don't mean like that. I would deny it. And you know why I would say that? Because like I said before, all our children deserve adequate, essential education, every single one of them. But to take monies from public funding to put in a private funding, I think that's a little ludicrous. Because you think about it, and I may have the numbers wrong, it costs about $6,000, I think, per year for a child to go to private school. And you know, so kind of roughly, but and you think you know that's a lot of money, where that money can be utilized for our public schools, for special needs children, for kids that are struggling with ADHD. Those funds can be utilized in the public sector for so much more value than I think for the private sector. You know, and the beautiful thing about it, public school is free. That private school is an option. You know what I mean? That's like an option. You know what? I'm gonna send my child to private school. I don't want to go to, that's an option. But if you have a public school that offers the same things, the same essentials, the same quality education, you know, then I don't foresee taking funds from the public education system to take it to a private. I just don't see that. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground on educational topics, but I want to make sure you get to share anything you want with our members. So is there anything we haven't discussed that you want to make sure they know before they vote?
Yes, one thing I do want to express to well, for teachers first, is to continue to just know that you all are doing a marvelous job, an awesome job. I think a lot of times teachers are not given credit for what you do, and I want to applaud all of us as teachers, administrators. You're doing an awesome job, and to the public and to our children, continue to protect yourself using your mask, wearing your mask, washing your hands, continue to stay 6 feet apart. Continue when you go to vote to make sure that you research who you're voting for, and not voting for that person because this is your friend, but voting for that person because they want to do what's right. You know, but the main thing right now is to understand that we're still in our state and the world is still in a COVID disease situation. And by that being said, even if you're teaching face to face, please make sure that our children are safe, our children are safe, and that we're doing everything that we can do possibly to teach and give our children the 100% education that we can. So, you know, that's just kudos for teachers. I love you guys.
Well, I love the public service announcement there, because we've pushed hard for wearing masks and washing hands so that kids can be back in school safely where we want them to be.
Yes, absolutely. That's important. That is important.
Well, Ms. Cain, we appreciate your time this afternoon and for navigating technology with us. And we wish you all the best this fall, and thank you for your willingness to serve our state.
Thank you for this opportunity. It's an awesome opportunity. I do appreciate you all and all that you do. All that you do. I read up on your profile of what you do, and I'm like, you know, wow, this is awesome. This is awesome to be able. One of the things I cherish most is said what makes you all stand out, and one of the main things that you have was the priority of the children, and that just like, wow, that blew my heart, because we are all advocates for our babies, and that's just a beautiful thing to know that there's organizations out there that has the best interests for our children. So thank you. I applaud you guys. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, and we appreciate you and your service, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Have a great one, and thank you again for your time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.